When the first ray of the sun fell upon the tall minarets of the royal palace, a strange silence spread across the entire kingdom. Maharaja Vikram Singh sat upon his throne. Deep sorrow lay in his eyes, and helplessness was clearly visible on his face. The incident that had occurred 3 days earlier was nothing less than an earthquake for the whole kingdom. His 3 princes, who were the hope and future of the empire, had suddenly disappeared. Prince Arjun, the eldest son, was famous for his bravery and mastery of swordsmanship. Prince Diwan, the middle son, was unmatched in knowledge and wisdom, and his reputation spread throughout all the academies. And the youngest, Prince Krishna, whose smile held such magic that the entire populace loved him from the heart. All 3 princes had gone into the forest for hunting, but they never returned. Maharani Kamla Devi remained in her chamber, weeping constantly. Her tears showed no sign of stopping. Every moment she would look out of the window, hoping that perhaps her beloved sons would return. The palace walls, which once echoed with joy, now carried only the sound of sobs. Servants whispered among themselves, and an atmosphere of anxiety prevailed in every corner of the palace. In the royal court, Prime Minister Mantriji said, "Maharaj, we have sent hundreds of soldiers into the forest. Every path, every cave, every stream has been searched, but no trace of the princes has been found." The Maharaja clenched his fist and said, "I cannot rule this throne without my sons. Whoever brings my sons back, I will make them the heir to half the kingdom." This announcement spread throughout the realm. Spies, magicians, Sufis, and brave young men from distant lands set out in search of the princess, but none succeeded. The forest was so dense and dangerous that many returned on their own. One evening, as the sun was setting, an old woman arrived at the gates of the palace. Her clothes were torn, her hair white, and her face filled with wrinkles. The guards tried to stop her, but she said, "I wish to meet the Maharaja. I have news about the princess." Hearing this, the guards immediately rushed to inform the Maharaja. The Maharaja ordered that she be brought to the court at once. When the old woman entered the court, everyone looked at her in astonishment. The Maharaja asked, "Speak, what news do you have of my sons?" The old woman said softly, "Maharaj, your princes are imprisoned in an ancient fortress in the deepest part of the forest. That fortress belongs to a powerful sorceress known as Kali Maya. She has lived in this forest for 100 years and imprisons young princes, stealing their youth so that she may remain young herself." A wave of fear ran through the court. Everyone had heard stories of Kali Maya, but no one had believed she truly existed. The Maharaja asked, "Can my sons be saved?" The old woman nodded. "Yes, but it will not be easy. Kali Maya's power is immense. To defeat her, 3 things are required. First, a blue lotus from the peak of the Himalayas. Second, a pearl from the depths of the sea that shines in moonlight. And third, a heart filled with true love." Hearing this, Mantriji said, "This is impossible. To go to the Himalayan peak is to invite death, and descending into the depths of the sea is even more dangerous." Just then, a young girl entered the court. Her name was Princess Meera, the princess of a neighboring small kingdom. She loved Prince Diwan, and their engagement was about to take place. She said, "Maharaj, I am ready to bring all 3 things. I do not care for my life. I only wish to save Prince Diwan." The Maharaja said, "But child, this journey is extremely dangerous. I cannot place you in such peril." Princess Meera replied, "In love, there is no fear of danger. If I do not try, I will never be able to forgive myself." The old woman smiled and said, "Your heart is true. You have already obtained the 3rd thing. Now only 2 remain. But remember, time is short. These things must reach Kali Maya's fortress before the night of the full moon, or the princess will be lost forever." Princess Meera immediately began preparing for the journey. The Maharaja gave her the finest horse, weapons, and a few loyal soldiers. The next morning, she set out. Her first destination was the Himalayan peak where the blue lotus bloomed. The path was extremely difficult. The mountains were so tall that clouds hid their peaks. Snowfall was so intense that it became difficult to see. But Princess Meera did not lose courage. After 3 days of arduous climbing, she reached the place where the blue lotus grew. The flower bloomed at the edge of a cliff, beneath which lay a gorge thousands of feet deep. Princess Meera carefully tied a rope and moved toward the cliff. The wind was fierce, and one wrong step could mean death. But the love for her beloved gave her strength. She gently plucked the flower and returned safely. Now only the second item remained, the pearl that shone in moonlight from the depths of the sea. Princess Meera continued her journey toward the ocean. After many days of travel, she reached the shore. An old fisherman told her, "This pearl appears only on the night of the full moon in a deep-sea cave, but a dangerous dragon lives there and guards the pearl." Princess Meera waited for the night of the full moon. When the moon shone brightly in the sky, she took a sturdy boat and ventured into the sea. The waves were terrifying, but she dove into the deep waters. In the dark water, she saw a light. It was the pearl glowing in the moon's rays. But as she drew closer, a massive serpent-like creature appeared. The dragon roared and attacked Princess Meera. She drew her sword and fought bravely. The battle was fierce, but at last she wounded the dragon. She quickly grabbed the pearl and emerged from the water. Now she had both items, and the third, her heart filled with true love, she already possessed. She immediately set out for the forest where Kali Maya's fortress stood. The old woman was waiting for her along the way. She said, "You have done wonderfully. Now I will take you to the fortress." Deep within the forest stood an ancient fortress. Its walls were black, and an eerie silence surrounded it. The old woman recited an incantation, and the gates of the fortress opened. Inside a great hall sat Kali Maya. She appeared to be a young woman, but her eyes held centuries of evil. The 3 princes were sealed in glass coffins, unconscious and lifeless. Kali Maya laughed mockingly. "So you are the foolish girl who has come to save my princess." Princess Meera raised the blue lotus, the shining pearl, and placed her hand over her heart. "I have the 3 things that can destroy your power." Kali Maya rose in fury. "These things cannot stop me." She unleashed her magic, but when Princess Meera combined the blue lotus and the pearl with her true love, a brilliant light spread everywhere. Kali Maya screamed as her power began to fade. She grew old and finally turned to ash and scattered away. The glass coffins shattered, and all 3 princes awoken. Prince Duwan opened his eyes and saw Princess Meera. He embraced Princess Meera and said, "You saved all our lives." The 3 princes and Princess Meera returned to the palace. The joy of the Maharaja and Maharani remained unbounded. Celebrations were held throughout the kingdom. The wedding of Prince Duwan and Princess Meera was celebrated with great splendor. The old woman also came and said to the Maharaja, "In truth, I was a fairy who tests human love and bravery. Your daughter-in-law has proven that true love makes every difficulty easy." And thus the 3 lost princes returned, and happiness once again filled the kingdom. Even today, people tell the tales of Princess Meera's bravery.